Welcome back, everyone. 8:17 on a Thursday morning in Studio 61, talking about extreme heat this season. And while people across the state tend to face hot weather during the summer, some areas start to sizzle a whole lot more than others. Hartford and surrounding communities are considered part of this group here, considered heat islands. So joining us now to talk about this, Dr. Spencer Ehrman with ProHealth Physicians, to talk more about people who live in what are called heat islands, and I think more importantly, what we can do about it. Doctor, thanks for being here.
Nice to meet you.
So we hear heat island. I think some of us are vaguely familiar with the terms, but in a medical world, what does it mean to you?
A heat island is an architectural term. When you're in a city with concrete and asphalt and no landscaping, no trees, no grass, no fields, there's been a 5 to 10 degree temperature difference than if you go outside across the river to the fields in East Hartford.
And not certainly unique to Hartford. Any major city might handle some of these complications. Let's talk about warning signs. If you live in a city or a community that might fit this bill, what are we looking for?
Well, the warning signs for heat-related illness are the same no matter where you live. Starts with dehydration, progresses to muscle cramps, heat exhaustion, and then heat stroke, which is deadly.
And I always look for ways to empower parents, especially our grandparents who have the kiddos during the summer. Let's be proactive. What can we do? What can we think about if we're living in one of these areas?
The first thing you got to remember is never leave the kid in the car. Never leave your pets in the car for any length of time. Take them with you. You should plan your activities earlier in the day when it's cool, because once it's hot, especially with humidity we have here, the sweat does not cool off the body well, and the system that the body's supposed to have working doesn't work. So you overheat. Once you're overheated internally, it's very difficult to cool off if you're still in the heat. So stay out of the heat.
I know growing up, mom and dad said, go outside, it's the summer. And we would be outside 6 or 8 hours at a stretch, not thinking about it. How often should we bring kiddos back inside, get them hydrated? What's your view on that?
The only way to tell hydration really well is urination. You got to make sure the kids are peeing, and you got to check it out. If it's real dark, real odorous, they're dehydrated. The problem with dehydration is by the time you get to that point, it's almost too late.
And you and I were chatting before we went on air. I want to give a plug to some of these communities right behind us live. I mean, this is Bushnell Park, a great example in Hartford where you can find green space and trees and areas to cool down. So I say look in your own community, try some new places. What do you say?
It definitely helps if you're out of the sun. But when there's no breeze and it's humid, the shade doesn't make a huge difference. And again, the 2 or 3 degree difference isn't going to help. So you need to get out of it. You need to get into the AC, check out if there's a cooling center around, get in the car with the AC on, get in front of a fan. You've got to cool off, because once that internal core temperature heats up, it's very difficult to cool off again.
It is important information. We appreciate your stopping by the Fox 61 Morning News. Have a cool summer. And you got the blue memo, so kudos to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Stuff.
Thank you.
Matt Scott, I was also live a couple of days ago at Hartford City. Pools open 12 to 6 Monday through Friday, 12 to 5 on the weekend. So something to check out there as well.
Listen, here's a rule of thumb. I've been doing this for a long time. If you are starting to wonder, I'm starting to feel a little fatigued. If your brain starts thinking, this is bad, that's the time to get in, because usually it's some SOS that your body is trying to tell you to say, yeah, you really should be taking it easy at that point.